Hello everybody, welcome to Forever Sports. Breaking news, Malcolm Marx has officially been named the World Player of the Year, announced just after the final whistle went for Springboks versus Ireland. Whoever thought that was a good idea, I suppose kind of sums up World Rugby, doesn't it? You've got a full evening of rugby ahead on Saturday night, and you decide, you know what would be a really good idea? During all these games happening, why don't we announce the awards? You could possibly do it tomorrow night, where all the rugby is pretty much done by about 8 o'clock South Africa time, 7 o'clock overseas, depending on where you are, and then announce the games there. But no. Anyway, they have announced it, and it is Malcolm Marx. And it's probably pretty fitting that I think that he was actually tonight's man of the match against Ireland. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, but he's been phenomenal this November. I'm very gutted for Oxen Chair, but you know what? This man has been highly underrated for years and never really gotten his flowers to maybe the extent that he deserves. He's been one of the best players in the world for a long, long time. And it's a situation where I think that he's always kind of maybe been in the shadows a little bit sometimes with your pieter-steph, the toys, your best, your big personalities, because he's a very soft-spoken individual. But on his day, I remember watching him for the Lions when he came through as like a 20-year-old. And you used to have to saying that this kid is something special. And he's gone on to just be phenomenal. I mean, he's the best hooker we've ever had. And we've had some phenomenal hookers. You think about Bismarck du Plessis. You think of John Smith. And the fact we had those two at the same time. Even Bongi Manambi, for example. But Malcolm Marx, for me, is the best hooker by country mile. He is absolutely incredible, and so cool to see him get the award. It would have been cool to see pieter-steph, the toy, get it potentially, twice in a row. And I think he would have been a worthy winner. I think they all would have been relatively worthy winners, in fairness. Bielle-biarrey, who's actually busy playing as we speak, so I don't know if he's been told. Maybe he was told beforehand. It's a bit of motivation. He broke the Six Nations try scoring record, but then didn't go in the mid-year series. I don't think you can really get the awards there. But so I think it's a well-deserved reward. It's nice to see front rowers get their flowers. That's kind of why I was really hoping it was going to be Oxen Chair. The first prop ever nominated for the men's World Player of the Year. And then obviously would have been the first prop to have won it if he had gotten it. But good to see a front rower being celebrated. And I think you look at like tonight and the Boks versus Ireland game and the fact that the Boks basically won it based on the scrum dominance. That's how simple it was. The front rowers won the Boks that game, but they don't even get the celebration and the credit they deserve. And for Malcolm Marx to be named World Player of the Year in an evening where the four block pops basically set the foundation for the Boks to beat Ireland is a bit of a poetic justice to it. It's just a really good way of celebrating it. So a big shout out to him. And then Fabian Holland being named the World Rugby Breakthrough Player of the Year. This, for me, absolutely deserved as well. I said that I think it was between him and Joseph Suaalii, and I think that either of them would have been good candidates. I think that Henry Pollock being nominated, fine, but I was going to be really frustrated if he won. He's played 150 minutes of test match rugby. Yes, they've been a good 150 minutes, but he hasn't. He's had some breakthrough moments, but I just don't think that he's a full-blood breakthrough, oh my goodness, here he is type of thing. Fabian Holland has been really good for the All Blacks. I personally thought it was going to be Suaalii. He kind of had my vote. I think Ethan Hooker, again, just didn't play enough games. Had some phenomenal games, had some fantastic performances, and had some moments where he put his hand up and said, look, here I am. But again, you look at the playing time he had and maybe didn't get as much of an impact that Fabian Holland did, who looks so at home in that All Blacks jersey. And I think he's going to potentially be a 60-70 cap All Black, which is always quite a big call when players come through. But he just looks so comfortable in that jersey. And in a year where the All Blacks haven't been fantastic, and I think even the pack particularly haven't been amazing, he stood tall. In a year where like a Scott Barrett has struggled, even a Wallace Atiti, for example, World Breakthrough Player last year, has struggled. Where we've seen, them trying to change, the loose trio and the lock period not being able to always have the best combination. He stood tall and was counted. So it's a worthy award from him. In terms of the other award, we haven't got a world the 15, for example, the Dream Team. Hopefully that'll be announced pretty soon, and we can kind of go through that. But the men's try of the year was actually a Chilean. Was Santiago Pedrero for the Chile versus Samoa try. or the try scored in Chile versus Samoa in the 2027 Rugby World Cup qualifying game. We're actually going to do a bit of a video and look at all the different tries, but I mean, the try scored is pretty amazing. There's lots of offloads. Yeah, it's a really good try. And I think tries of the year are always quite debatable, for example, but they're always lots of fun to watch. So those are your World Rugby Awards. We'll go through the dream team once we get the dream team. Obviously, you'll probably feature the likes of Malcolm Marx. It should feature an Oxen Chair. It'll feature Pieter-steph the toy. It'll feature bielle-biarrey. And then might feature, your Henry Pollocks, your, Fabian Hollands and the likes of that. Although not necessarily, because obviously there could be players better than them in the position that aren't breakthrough players. But give me your Dream 15 down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and let me know your thoughts. And a big congratulations to Malcolm Marx as well as Fabian Holland. Well deserved, I think, for the both of them, and but just a weird time to announce it.